Today we have Saber.
That is my name.
My bad.
Okay.
Saber.
I feel like we got to redo it, okay? Otherwise it's going to be too messy.
I loved it though because like I'm literally that awkward on stage as well.
That's the thing, I was like,
I love everything. I'm so funny. Jokes. I go stand behind the wall so I don't make you giggle.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, Cowboys. Welcome back to Cowboys Incorporated.
Today we have Sarah Abraham here to discuss the comedy scene of Cape Town.
We hope that you have an amazing Heritage Day, and thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoy the episode.
Yeah!
Cowboys Incorporated.
With us today is Sarah Abraham. She is a Jewish female stand-up comedian in Cape Town.
She is my cousin, but there is no nepotism here, we can assure you, sure, if you want that. She also goes by what we've now decided, Stage Braham. So welcome, Sarah.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Hi.
Hi.
Now I got shy.
Don't worry, our viewers are fun, they're nice. So we're just kind of here today to discuss comedy. You are a stand-up comedian, a comic.
Yeah.
So we have quite a few questions. We kind of just go into it.
Let's get into it now.
Why did you decide to go into comedy, stand-up?
Oh, you don't know?
Big
That's
question. No, I do know. I know exactly what happened. Thrilling. No, so I'd always wanted to do it. I always liked watching stand-up comedy or like comedians and stuff like that. My dad always showed me things. But I never knew how to start and like where to go. And then almost like a year and a half ago, I had a really bad breakup. And
Tragic.
yeah, I feel like this is everyone's starting story.
Yeah,
I had a really to be fair, it really wasn't that bad of a breakup.
I've
Bad.
heard the stories and it did seem bad.
It was my fault, to be fair, a lot of it.
Okay, but we
that's
support
good.
women's rights and women's wrongs,
for
and
sure.
that's okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
it came from therapy, so I feel very relaxed.
Nice.
No, so that happened, and then I went to a comedy show, and then I saw this one comedian there. She was so funny, Kate Pinchuk. I'm gonna say her name because we're friends now. But I saw her there.
I
and
saw
then,
when she, I think she liked something on your Instagram.
Yeah.
I've been watching the start of it, of like the relationship.
Yeah,
It's
literally.
been very
She liked my
satisfying.
Instagram and I posted on my story like such a loser. Anyway, all we're friends now, bragging. And then I followed her to an open mic event, and then I watched.
Stalking?
Yeah, but like the fun way. The fun way.
She's like listening to this, like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
sure.
So like yeah, she knows the story. I went to watch her at the open mic, and then I saw a bunch of other comedians go on, and I thought, fuck it, I can do it. Sorry.
It's fine, don't worry.
I can do it too. Like I can try that. I want to
Yeah.
try that. And I said to my older brother at the time, he's still my older brother. And
Oh my god, that's tragic.
yeah, I was telling him I want to do it, and he was like, "Okay, well, you've never been lower in life, so you can't get much lower. Just try it now. If it goes bad, goes bad. If it goes well, goes well. See how we feel." And so then I wrote a bunch of jokes about my ex-boyfriend.
So real.
So
Nice.
real, so relatable.
Best way to do it.
Because that story is hilarious. And then I went on stage and I did it, and I just that high feeling was insane. And it's crazy because I've watched that video back of my first time, and I really should not have felt that good about it. I was like, okay,
But that's where you
Sarah,
start,
yeah.
you know.
You've got to start somewhere.
So
Where do you perform?
yeah, I'm sorry.
People, it's crazy because people ask this all the time, like where, but I perform everywhere. So there's a bunch of, people don't know this actually, there's a bunch of open mics all over Cape Town, in Cliff Street, in Observatory, in Sea Point, there used to be one in Kenilworth. I did my first open mic in Kenilworth. And I'll just go on the open mics, and then sometimes I get invited to a big show like Evil Comedy, which is a great show to go to if you want to see like new comedians. And then hasn't gone on for a while now. And then there's my show now, which is called Book Club, where I do bring new comedians on. It's not just me, but sometimes I'll go on as well because it's nice.
So you're gonna pay back the nepotism if I go into the scene.
Yeah, maybe I'll give you 5 minutes for sure.
Thank you.
You can do a tight 5. They call it a tight 5. Yeah.
How do you find like these spots though? Because you're saying they're all over, but like, I'm not going into the scene, so that makes sense. But I have no idea about them other than what I've seen you perform at. Well, I haven't seen you perform, but I've seen that you are performing there.
No, so I followed Kate to to this open mic in Kenilworth. It's called Rascals. It's a sports bar now. I mean, it's always been, but they had like a behind it through was like a little open mic. So I followed her to that. And then after meeting a bunch of the comedians, and no, it's kind of dodgy for sure.
Extremely dodgy.
But like you find yourself in these dodgy situations, you know, anything for the mic. And then I spoke to a bunch of comedians and they were like, okay, you have to come to this spot. And so then you just kind of follow the crowd. And then the other way to do it is on Instagram. They're all on Instagram. So there's one in Ops called Armchair Theatre. They do comedy on Wednesdays and Sundays. Sundays they do
I'm doing it today.
a 1 minute. Yeah, you could do it today. I think I might do it today.
Nice.
This is recorded on Wednesday, by the way.
Yeah, just because you're like, okay.
It's Heritage Day. It's Monday. No, they have on Sundays at Armchair. They do a 1 minute slot, and so you have 1 minute on stage, and then the two more experienced comedians, old, will critique it and like help you figure out where the joke is and if it's funny or not. And that's quite a fun one. And then there's also Trench Town on Sundays, which is also a fun one to watch and to be at. And then Kloof Street, there's one called Comedy on Kloof on Tuesdays.
Yeah, I know about that one.
Yeah, that's a great one. There's
Actually,
one.
maybe I don't. I think I just anything that's something on Kloof is like, yeah, I know that. It's like,
I know
the
that.
on Kloof
Yeah.
thing, so I know where
I've
it
been
is.
to Kloof Street like twice. I know where that is.
It's like people are like, I went overseas for gap year and my life was changed. I went to Kloof Street, so I know everything there.
Literally
Yeah.
my joke. And then there's Cafe Mojito, also Tuesdays. There's a Thursday gig. They're all on Instagram. But yeah, I get you. I didn't know about it till I was in it, for sure. Same. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going back to, you said that new comedians have to go on stage for 1 minute and tell a joke. Do you not just fumble on your words?
Yeah, you do. But they're very lenient. I will say right now on Sundays, I just did 5 minutes on Sunday, but I killed. So what can you do? I didn't. But it's fun. Like, it's just, honestly, there's just something about it that's so raw and real and fun. And you can tell when someone's fumbling, and you can feel it.
So it's like everyone else
Like,
is
it's
also
like,
going to be feeling
I
that. So
know.
it's
Everyone
like
feels it.
neutral.
The audience is on your side. They want you to win. So if you say it with confidence and you just commit to the bit.
Okay, commit to the bit.
Yeah, we can commit to
Yeah,
it.
we can definitely.
Yeah, we're great
We
at
literally
that.
did that with the podcast. So
Yeah,
it's kind of a
exactly.
joke at first, and now it's like, okay, I
No,
guess.
this is
Now
commitment.
This is my life.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Who are your like influences in comedy? We're studying it in drama, and it's just like, do you have any? Kate, I'm assuming.
Kate.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
My best friend. She's my best friend. She's not my best friend.
Oh, that's sad.
I do. No, it's not that sad. I always get
She's
so.
your best friend, but you're not her best friend.
I always
so-
get so like my hands get so sweaty when I talk about Kate, but she knows it. She's like, Sarah, stop, please. No, I love Kate, and I love like I grew up watching Fawlty Towers.
So good.
So John Cleese, big fan. Some of them are men. Like only recently, I've like been watching female comedians, like Taylor Tomlinson, Sarah Silverman, Catherine Ryan, but also love Ricky Gervais. A lot of my like fandom started with Michael McIntyre. When I saw him in Cape Town, I was like, "Ugh, I love you, be my best friend."
Well, it worked with Kate, so we just stalk him, follow him to a bar.
Exactly, and I'm sure we will be best friends. Maybe one day I can au pair his kids. You know,
Yeah.
get in there.
That's genuinely that's how it works.
You got to get in there. Yeah.
I'm going to quickly skip one here because you
Yeah.
led really well into one of our questions, so it just works well. Which
Oh.
is you're like following women, like women in comedy is. I mean, it's more common now, but obviously it always wasn't.
wasn't.
And so, like,
Always.
how is it to be a woman in comedy, especially in South Africa, like going into the industry as a woman?
It's interesting, I will say, because I mean I've not experienced it as a man. But like,
No, really?
oh my god! So I don't know the difference, but so far my personal experience, because I've only been here for a year and a half in it, is that everyone has been very friendly, very open, very warm. I haven't felt uncomfortable by any male comedians as of yet, and I think there was one instance, but like it wasn't. Like sexual advance, and all the other comedians were very much like making me feel safe in the
Yeah.
space. So it's not, I don't
Not much
right
of
now it doesn't feel
That's
nothing
good.
feels right, and it's great. So and there's a big community of comedians in Cape Town, a lot less women than there are men, but I think it's growing from what I've seen.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
Women
I've-
are funny.
Yeah. I thought you said women aren't funny. I was like, okay. I was like, okay, yeah. Guys, I think we're not going to have an episode next week. Unrelated.
Well, they're not really that funny. They're not funnier than one of them.
They're totally like, actually, that's how you get the opportunities too. It's just like, I don't actually know. I think you do. It's how you have to go with it.
Yeah, you just think whatever. Just believe you're funnier.
What do they want? What are you doing? You can have said so many. So
Okay. So in comedy, what is your opinion of like creating personas like compared to off stage? Like you've only been in what, a year and a half?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you do this. Do you create a persona on stage?
Like Nick Rabinovitz, I've been told by someone. I'm just using this as an example because he was using an example for me. Like I've never met him in real life, but you go on stage and you kind of have to like not separate yourself, but like it is over dramatized. Like you can't really be in that state of comedy like 24/7. It would just be too tiring. So how do you do that?
No,
Do
for
you do
sure.
that?
I think there's some sort of exaggeration when it comes to being on stage, just so people can buy into your whatever, like your joke. Because you have to believe the person believes this. Because a lot of my comedy comes from delusion.
So real.
Like I do a joke where I say I think I'm the best at sex, and
But you
it's
literally
just
are though. That's what you're
no, for sure, and I am 100% the
Yeah.
best at sex. But then I do like progress the joke. Does like so people are like confused because they're like, okay, shame.
like,
Okay,
sure.
wow, shame. She thinks she's the best. That's so embarrassing for her. And then I do go through to the end where I reveal that the way I know I'm the best at sex is because after I have sex with a man, I know what he's thinking. Like while we're having sex, it's like he's thinking this is incredible. Like we're having the best time. And then now I'm forgetting my own joke. But then it's like he's thinking to himself, oh, we never have to do this again. Like once was enough.
Exactly.
And then I call them the next day 9-10 times. They don't pick up. I WhatsApp them. The profile photo's gone. So like everyone knows that they're avoiding me. But then I reveal, so when's the wedding? Like we're getting married.
Obviously,
Like
you don't need to ever
obviously,
come back.
He's speechless. He's obsessed with me. He thinks once like
He's actually
we could
can't
never
live
redo
life
that.
without
Exactly.
He just needs to move on because he'll
can't.
never have that again anywhere else.
Exactly.
He needs to like make peace.
So he can't redo the magic.
He's actually
So-
celibate now.
Exactly.
So-
Probably. I won't know because I'm blocked. But at the end of the day. So like I do think there is an aspect of you need to exaggerate. For me anyway, I like to exaggerate a lot about my delusion on stage. And when I'm off, I'm very much like shy and to the side.
Yeah, it's
I'm
like you know that that's not actually true, but it's just it's
Yeah.
funny.
It's
and
funny.
it's tough for me because I make recently I've been making quite a few sex jokes, and a lot of the people are like, oh my god, so you do like a lot of sex, and I'm
it's
like,
like,
no, I haven't had sex
It's
in
like,
months.
can you take a joke?
I just like I don't
and you
know.
don't need to because you know that you're the best.
I know I'm the
So you
best.
don't need to do it for that many times because you just like it's
Once was enough.
Exactly.
I'm like, cool, mastered it. I'm a genius.
Exactly.
Who needs to do this again? That doesn't sound like a good idea. Like end of the day, so I
it's
think
like
a lot of it because
My
also
phone
you've
keeps
thought
falling.
about the jokes beforehand. I've written it. What's the word?
written it.
Words.
I wrote it out.
There we go.
I wrote exactly what I
Can stop
wanted
my
to
phone
say.
from falling? It keeps moving. It's like you don't need these. It's like, go away.
Like I wrote exactly what I wanted to say, when my pause is, when I need to look at someone. Do you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
no,
So
fair.
when I'm on the stage, I can have the confidence to say it completely till the end.
You've written
Because you
it
know
out
what
I
step
know
by
exactly
step.
what's gonna happen. And then when I'm off stage, don't fucking talk to me.
Yeah, it's like I'm gone. I don't know who the fuck that was. That was
Yeah,
not right. I'm
that's-
swearing now. I was like, don't
Yeah,
swear.
sorry.
My phone.
I've only done it twice.
No, I've already
It's-
have like a bunch. It's actually fine. I don't really think it matters. It's
I, like, feel
Spotify.
bad.
People
I'm like,
no, people actually swear in songs. Like I don't know why it would be a problem.
Yeah.
I make my thing explicit for YouTube anyways because like the last thing was kind of a serious topic, so I
Yeah.
made that so it doesn't matter because the topic's
What
gonna
was
be.
the last thing?
We talked about just like personas in music, but then it kind of went into like grooming and stuff like that. So we had to. We're like, no, let's not put this on the kids' side of YouTube.
Grooming. Fun topic.
Yeah, it was so fun, and it was like people were so because the first one was quite like comedic as well, and then it was like, the next one like, oh, I'm so excited, and then they walk in and it's like, so trigger warning, and it's just like okay, and my friends are like, oh, we'll totally listen. And I was like, you have to now.
Yeah.
And I was like, don't if you are triggered, but we're kind of because it's creatives in Cape Town with the
Yeah.
podcast, it kind of does go up and down of like we have people we're interviewing, but like you also don't know where it's gonna take you.
Good.
So you kind of went into this
Yeah,
earlier
actually.
in like a kind of joking way, but what is the prep that goes into stand up? Because like,
Oh wow. Big question.
Because I see, like, I
Why-
think once I saw
why
you
do
guys
I-
make, like, a spreadsheet. It was you and someone else for a book club thing. And, like, I saw in your story it was something that looked like a spreadsheet. I don't know what it is. And then I was like, I want to know what that is. So, in a fancy way, it's prep, but in the other way, what was that spreadsheet?
It's like is and it isn't. Like it depends on the joke, to be honest. I mean, we have so I'm revealing this. That's okay.
It's fine.
I don't think they're gonna care. But we're revealing.
You're revealing.
Some of the female comedians in Cape Town, we're in a group called Book Club, and it's like a writers' group, running ideas through each other, kind of getting other people's perspective. Will this joke be funny? Because often, like I think of a topic like, and then I'm like, oh, is that funny?
Yeah.
And then I need to run it by someone. So
Because it's also like you see it from your perspective of it, as everyone else going to get the joke.
is it like I don't want to offend anyone.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to like so
Yeah.
and it's with everybody. And so in the beginning I wrote a lot of my jokes with my older brother because he studied
The one that used to exist.
No longer exists.
the one guy who used to be my older brother,
Yeah.
but he still is. Because he studied directing, editing, and writing and stuff, so he knows a lot of that well. And often I run a lot of my jokes by him, as if I can make him laugh.
Then you can kind
Then
of...
I know,
Yeah.
okay, cool, that joke's gonna be good. Let me just tweak it a little bit. But we have a writers group called Book Club, which is how the name of my show came up, of Book Club. And we have a meeting after this. But we just write jokes like that. I'll have a Google Doc, put it together, and then you basically
Just anything in your...
yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't know if it's funny or not until you try it out on stage.
Yeah.
You just don't.
You're the funniest person ever, so it doesn't matter.
That's true. I'm the
exactly.
best at
Yeah.
everything I do.
It
for
is
sure.
how life
100%.
works.
Never been bad.
And going into that, I'm going to kind of twist this one. Not
Sure.
really, actually, it fits in. Because I guess when you're like making the jokes about being the best, but obviously we're talking about how that's on stage and like
Yeah.
it is a joke, and then you're like, no, it's what do you mean it's a joke? No,
That's true.
Obviously, the truth.
yeah.
That's the true facts.
But
Yeah.
like imposter syndrome, especially in comedy, of going into like an industry that other people there might have have been in longer. Like you can't go into an industry being there the longest.
Yeah.
And then especially when you're making jokes like that.
other than me.
Yeah, other than me. I've been there. Yeah.
Pretty much the best at everything I do.
Also in other
Off
people's
the bat.
for your friend.
For
a
my
friend
friend.
who's asking.
For a friend. Okay.
Definitely not me either.
If I'm
Like,
trying to
imposter-
humble someone.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're trying-
sure.
Imposter syndrome, like how do you go into it and kind of approach,
Yeah.
especially in comedy, like you're going up and saying these things that could absolutely bomb and it's just like dead silence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw like this skit of this guy. He's like went through all the things you can do as a stand-up comedian when you bomb, and just
Oh,
like the
shame.
things comedians do to like kind of brush it off.
Yeah.
and then like you can either like brush it off or you can just really double down, or then
Yeah.
some people just get mad. And I was like, but how do you go into that in like something that is really like kind of one of the scariest forms of acting, according to my teacher, drama teacher actually. She says because not acting, it's not really, but kind
Performing,
of. Yeah.
really. I think you know what? It's tough because no matter comedy will do that to you though, because I think you'll feel like an imposter and you'll be doing shows, you'll be killing every time, right? But then there's always going to be one where you're too cocky, too much, too
Yeah.
this, and you go on stage and you bomb. No one laughs. It's crickets. You can hear yourself thinking. It feels you come off stage. You're like so humbled. You hate yourself first of all. You're so humbled and you never want to do it again. But then there's all the comedians, and I know in Cape Town there's this huge community. They've all been through it. We've all been through it. When you see someone bombing, the comedians are laughing. They've been,
Yeah.
you know, and I think that's what's maybe made me not feel like I've got imposter syndrome, because I feel like those are my people, and I think a lot of comedians will feel the same, where you're like a misfit. You don't fit in. You feel this whole thing, but then all of a sudden when you find comedy and that's what you're supposed to be doing, you find your people and they're there for you. So I don't think I've felt like an imposter other than when I went to Amsterdam to try it and I didn't know anybody. But then after I went on, I knew them. You know, you have
Yeah.
to prove yourself. In comedy, you have to prove yourself.
That's
you have
like,
to get on
I
that
feel like
mic.
I'd be so scared. By the way, when I was just pointing at a word, so she knew what the question was. I'm not like writing, you're like writing notes. Like this is so weird,
Yeah.
Amsterdam. I'm just so I don't have to say because I'm giving a yeah.
I was
about that.
literally like, oh my god, they're making fun of me.
No,
Right to
I'm
my
pointing
face.
at,
I feel
I'm
like
pointing
I'm in high
at
school
something
again.
I'm pointing at something from the intro so she knows what to ask about.
That's fine.
Do you? This is going to be kind of a classic question
Okay.
for some people. How do you tie in Jewishness to your comedy?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
dark comedy, off the limits, and then also just like
Being
Yeah.
Jewish.
Do you?
It's tough because I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did in the beginning. I used to do a joke like, I'm not your typical Cape Town Jewish girl. I don't live in Sea Point. I live in Noordhoek. But at the end of the day,
Doxing yourself here. Hey, what are these people? Oh, this is how you're getting to be someone else's Cape Pinchick. Because now they're going to find where you are, stalk you.
Well, I'm not in Noordhoek anymore. I did move out finally.
Oh, yes. I know where you live, actually.
Don't tell anyone.
It's this address.
This is she does frequently go here and here
and around these times, it will be open.
And she drives, No. So I don't make jokes about it because, in all honesty, the Jewish community isn't that big in Cape Town. So the crowds that come to these shows aren't predominantly Jewish, and a lot of the people won't get my jokes. So
Fair.
I haven't written jokes about being Jewish, and also to that I haven't written jokes about being Cape Townian, because one day I want to go to Europe and I want to go to London and I want to do comedy there. And if my jokes are all about being in Cape Town or all about being Jewish, even if there's a Jewish community there, not everyone's going to relate to that. And I want to be relatable, and I don't want it to be the only thing about me that people fixate on. Like, oh, she's just another Jewish comedian or something. Do you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of Jewish comedians.
People, especially because you are Jewish or woman, like people are going to try look for the thing that's
they put
like
you
you're
in
not
a
as
box.
funny
because
it's like you just have to.
You're just like this person that I know.
And
exactly.
Like,
this joke is similar to that. When really it's not. It's just.
I was about to make a thing about like everyone in the Jewish community knowing each other, but then also you're my cousin, so it's like, oh yeah.
But it's also, that's true.
Also, yeah, if you guys are like, oh, it's nepotism. I'm trying to branch out here, but I'm related to everyone. If there's gonna be some connection, if it's not with me, it's with like a friend.
Yeah,
it's gonna be there no matter
it's
what.
Not your fault.
Like literally, want to interview this one person, and like I'm friends with like. Someone in their really close family. Yeah. And it was just like, I'm not going to say, we don't know if we have them yet. We don't know.
Maybe I know them. Maybe I can help.
I'll ask you afterwards. And then it was like, okay, I feel bad because like it's nepotism, but also that's how you get into it in the industry. It's like if you want to get people, it's like there has to be a reason. On our first podcast, we said this and got some eyes, and then people were like, "Oh, you said that." Where we said the reason how we're gonna get people is no one can say no to a little girl. But I didn't mean it like that.
I completely forgot we said that.
I didn't mean it like that.
It's true though.
I meant it like we're teenage girls, so it's like easy because we were interviewing like this. It was Stanley Zib, who's a podcaster.
Yeah.
So obviously for him, when the guy said no, we're like, oh yeah, it's hard though when like two teenagers who are like, oh, come onto like our small little podcast, and you have to look at them. It's like you're saying no to a teenager getting into the industry, not like an adult.
Yeah.
So it's more difficult. I just want to clarify that we did not mean it in like in whatever
like
way.
You guys are so hopeful and everything, because even when you reached out, you were like, can you please do me a favor?
Jada just hit her arm.
Gosh. It's like the funny bone. No, you were so hopeful. You were like, can you please do me a favor? I was like, yeah, sure. Like, what do you need? I'm so bored all day. And then you literally asked me for the one time.
Oh yeah, I said because we had to change. I was like, can you come at this time? Like,
that's literally when I get to work.
You would type in the message. We sent the message at the same time. Where she was like, I can't do 1 to 5. And I was like, can you come at 2? And then I was like, oh no. Or I was coming 3 or something.
Yeah. So then but it worked out. Of course, yeah. I don't mind. I don't know. You've done me so many favors now at this point.
Not really. I only did, and that was kind of a favor for me. Honestly, that was fun for me.
That was like literally saving grace, because I'd failed that course and I needed photos, and then no one was responding to me. I was like, this is so annoying. And then
not me.
You came and you brought your friend, and then you guys were just amazing at it.
Thank you.
Like you just knew.
Just know I don't know the story, and I don't think we will ever know. Yeah.
You can.
Well,
Sarah had needed photos for a course, and I went and was
That's so helpful. That's so
I did it for it was for a photography it was for my photography project,
Yeah,
and I
see?
needed to do portraits, and none of my friends pulled through to do portraits, literally, because
so
I have
we're
like
not
6
friends.
friends. No, and then Emily was like, I'm free, I'll come, I'll be there, I'm bringing my friend. I was like, you are amazing.
It was very fun. I'll do it again anytime. And also it was so cool to be in that building because it was at like the KFM. It was so fun.
It was so fun.
It was really cool. And then I posted a photo of me there on my close friend story just to keep some mystery up. And people were like, why are you there? And I was like, I don't know. You'll find out.
I know, it's a secret.
You'll find out soon enough.
It's really private. I'm working on a really big project with a big brand. It's
like,
just me.
No, but it was cool. And then we posted it, so it was fun. It's actually your profile photo, so photo, the one I took with
It
you.
is,
So
yeah.
just, you know, just
Yeah.
that
It
was me.
is. I love those photos. I feel
Um,
like they're very mysterious.
Thank you, guys. I'm like creative here. Hit me up, pay me. No,
I'll do it for experience.
Yeah, I'll do it for the credit.
Yeah.
And about like 1,000 rand, please.
Yep.
That's
That's actually
nothing.
that's very good price.
I think that I could go. I'm actually the best photographer in Cape Town. So,
You are.
Yeah,
and no one
clearly.
should question you on
Yeah,
that.
nobody.
100%. Yeah.
Have you ever seen my photos? No. So how
No.
can you say?
So how could
Yeah.
you know?
In fact, if I hadn't taken photos, we would know even more because it's like you could never prove that I wasn't.
That's so true.
so it's
yeah.
like I know that I'm the best surfer because I never surfed.
That's so oh
I
my
have so much more
gosh.
because you've failed on a wave, but I have never failed on a wave.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so how could you possibly
I have a better success rate.
That is so true.
Statistics.
We should be living
reminding
more
me
by
too-
that.
This is reminding me too much of girl math.
No, but it
Oh
makes
my gosh, I
total
love
sense.
girl math.
Oh
I girl
my
math someone's
gosh.
trip next year. They had it. It was like 3,400 a night per person, and I got it down to like 200 a night, including food.
No, but that makes total sense
It
to me.
does because you know what? They weren't thinking about the fact that there's couches for people to sleep on.
100%, 100%.
So
And also, it's like,
Imagine
also
there's
if
no
it's
couches.
if it's a need, if it's something like for a basic need like food and
yeah,
like
others are gonna die. That's more
clothing
money.
and stuff like that, then it's a write off.
Yeah.
It doesn't add up.
Yeah, and also I just
End
want to say
of.
this is like if I didn't like okay, I might need because we're gonna record from my house next week, but we have one
year.
mic. If I want to get a new mic, right, one day,
Yeah.
when it gets to that point, here's how I'm gonna go math it. I'm also gonna be recording music.
Yeah,
Because
that's
I have
true.
music written that I need to
Yeah.
record. So that's two things. You need to divide that number by two. So let's say it's 5K. No, it's 2.5K.
Yeah.
But then also, if I don't get that, imagine how much money I'm losing. Because now every day I'm going to think, I could have this microphone.
That's
and I
so
don't.
I could be doing
true.
so
So I'm
much
depressed,
work.
and that depression is going to make me unproductive, lose money at school. Then I'm also
Therapy.
not making money in my work that I'm going to be making.
Yeah,
so
'cause
I'm
you don't
actually
have the
costing
mic.
me money to not buy the mic.
It makes total sense. And
Exactly.
also, at the same time, how many people are using the mic when it's getting used?
Exactly.
That's like divided by 6. So, it's free.
It's
Yeah.
literally
If you think about it, it's
actually
completely free.
Really.
And that's how I live my life.
I agree with you. Like I'm redoing my one course at school called at university. I don't go to school. I'm a grown up, and I got my project last year because I'm redoing because I failed it. Not to brag. And then my project, the same project I did last year, I got 35% for, and then this year I got 64%, which is basically 70, and a 70 is
Yeah.
basically 80, and
Exactly,
80 is
it's
basically
basically
100. So
90.
I basically got
100%.
100%.
Well
And at the
done.
end of the day, I feel like, oh, that's incredible.
Exactly, because
And
you take the
technically-
64 and you plus the 30. that
Yeah.
You would have had the 30.
I
But to
would have
add
had the
that
30 from
to-
last year.
yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's like
Clearly.
80, and then you add 80 is literally 84 is a 90.
84 is a
And
90.
a 90, if you have a 90, you've literally gotten 100 because you
Yeah.
can't. The 90 to 100 is like a 1 mark thing, and getting that 1 mark is impossible. So you actually have 100%.
No one's
Wait,
ever
wait,
gotten that
question,
one mark.
question. How did you go from 64 plus 30 to 80?
Because we're adding in inflation.
No, we're actually minusing.
We're
I
minusing.
think.
Yeah, you're minusing.
We're minusing for the fun. How about that? We're
Yeah.
minusing for the fun.
I wasn't thinking about it when I said it. Yeah, I do AP math. Cry about it. Because why did I have to? Are you trying to make things less fun, Jada?
It's like what time of the morning? My brain is not on.
yeah.
Fact.
And I was
Totally.
minusing 10% for error.
That's true. You
For
gotta,
For
you
space
gotta,
for
yes,
error.
space
of
for
my girl
error.
math.
Because
Because
what
maybe
about
that 10% is rough, and we still got 100%. So we actually got 110%. So you're making money.
That's
Yeah.
true. On something I didn't even intend to
Yeah.
make money on. That's true.
Yeah.
Also, if you book a trip 3 months in advance, and by that I mean book the flights, then by
The
the
money's
time
gone.
the money's gone, so it was
Yeah.
spent. So then end of those flights were
See,
free.
I have cash in my phone case. But
Yeah,
by
I
the
saw
time I
that.
use it, I'm going to forget that it was here.
Exactly.
So it's free. This is actually money.
That's free
This
money.
is money I found from someone who gave it to me for free
100%.
at one point.
Yeah.
Because it's here. And I forget that I even own that.
Also, paying for things shouldn't be I'm over it. So end of
It's
the
just-
day, when I buy something, I didn't buy it. Someone else did.
Yeah.
And
If
I'm
it's
not going to
cash,
pay
it's
for
not
things.
real.
If it's cash, is not real. If I put it on my card and I don't check my bank after, not real.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
Is everything not real?
No.
Nothing is real. Also,
No money.
once you fill up, okay, you guys might not understand this, but once you fill up your car with petrol, that money you put in the car to get the petrol,
It's still there.
It's gone.
No, but it's in petrol.
No, but yeah, but like it's just like, okay, now I have
Where's it?
petrol, so
Yeah.
I just have petrol now.
Exactly. So it's like, oh, I lost money, but also I have a full tank of
A
petrol.
full tank of petrol,
So,
so-
who cares about the money? I'm not thinking about that
Yeah.
right now. You know,
I have a fortune. It's in petrol.
it's actually like
though.
I imagine that you can imagine the banknotes in the petrol.
Yeah. And then
investment.
I don't need to buy more petrol now because it's full.
Exactly, so you're making money.
I'm making money.
You're making money.
It's such a win.
Such a win.
I like that this has gone into our mouth because I love it so much. This is our time.
Yeah.
So
That
thank
was
you for
fun.
coming on. It was very
you.
nice.
Thanks for
It
having
was-
me.
Of
That was
course.
most chillax one. No,
What?
it was most chillax.
Oh, I thought you said it's Chillix one. I was like, what?
Yeah, we didn't have any
We didn't have-
grooming,
yeah.
criminals.
Yeah,
We
no
didn't-
controversial things.
Yeah, no controversial things. No, it was fun. It was
Maybe
comedy
I
with
actually
the-
don't remember the
comedy.
comedy
conversation.
with the comedian.
Comedy with the
I
comedian.
liked last week. Last week was
Yeah.
fun. I liked last week.
It
We
was.
could have had some controversial things. I mean,
I like the fact that we're doing kind of controversial, happy controversial.
Yeah, for
happy.
sure.
I don't
Keep
think next week's
everybody
is
on their
controversial
toes.
either, but we shall see. Who knows?
who's to say?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
depends
I
on
mean,
the
I
question.
can make it
Who's-
controversial.
You can
we just
make
we
it.
just get them to say something really bad. We lead them on. So, what do you think about women? Bad, right?
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no,
horrid.
my ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, we'll interview
Convict.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go find him.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Alright.
Bye. Thank you guys for
Bye.
coming. We will have you listen next week.
Yay!
Oh wait. Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye.